Hey guys, recently we managed to get an employee of SpaceX into our Discord server. His name is Morty, and what he does at SpaceX is he does animations for concepts to help people visualize ideas at SpaceX. I'll have his Discord name and tag in the description. Anyways, so Morty told us a lot about the ideas and concepts that are currently circulating around SpaceX, and that is what we're going to be talking about today. Let's get started. Now, the first thing we wanted to talk about with Morty was BFR, but he couldn't really tell us anything about that. However, he did give us some insight on another vehicle's concept. He told us that SpaceX was thinking of a vehicle like the Saturn V or something as big. However, this vehicle would have a ginormous space for cargo, and instead of deploying it, it would be holding it. So we're clearly talking about something bigger than BFR. Morty went on to say that there are currently two concept variants of this vehicle. The first of which could sit in orbit, and vehicles like Dragon could come and add or remove cargo like a ginormous warehouse in space. Basically like a space station, but for cargo. The other variant is like the BFR, but this version would only have a crew of 4 and carry cargo with it. Now, there was something else we really wanted to know about, and that was given that the International Space Station's days have become numbered, we were very curious about what exactly would happen to Dragon 2. One concept was that Dragon 2 won't always be docked to the International Space Station but act as a portable lab. He even added on to that to say that they may even make Dragon 2 a little bit like Orion, which could even fly on Falcon Heavy. So maybe a Falcon Heavy launch with Dragon 2 isn't as far away as we thought. And for those who are adventure seekers, one interesting concept was that SpaceX may even make rovers. And I say rovers with an S, because they would travel in little packs and explore planets like Mars. Plus, he even mentioned the potential of an unmanned landing on Titan. How cool is that? The last and most intriguing concept was called the Falcon 1.9. The Falcon 1.9 is a concept of a Falcon 5, but I would call it a Falcon 5.2 because it takes the best of all the Falcons and puts it all together to compete against Electron. Morty described it through a series of diagrams. First, we would have a Falcon 1 and then a Falcon 9. These two would get the best of these two rockets to make this new concept. However, the proposal for the Falcon 1.9 is actually bigger than the Falcon 1. This would make the rocket look like an early iteration of the Falcon 9. Next, he told us that the rocket would not have 9 engines, but instead it would have multiple engines. However, this number has not been determined. I would like to say again that this is a concept and we don't know the exact number. But the most unusual part was that there was 2 engines on the second stage. And as far as I know, that is something that was taken from the Falcon 5. Of course, knowing SpaceX, the rocket will most likely be reusable. And the crazy part is that the rocket would actually be smaller than the Falcon 5. Despite the size, the rocket would be capable of taking satellites to a higher orbit than the Falcon 9 for a cheaper price. Talk about cost savings. Despite the proposal for the Falcon 1.9 being just a concept, Morty said that SpaceX really wants a rocket like the Falcon 1.9, which is pretty awesome. The Falcon 1.9 would be the predecessor to the Falcon 9, once the BFR is built. This is because the Falcon 1.9 would be able to be better than the Falcon 9, and it would also be able to compete against smaller rockets. And the amount of ideas and concepts that SpaceX has is insane. Morty currently works at SpaceX and makes diagrams and animations to help people visualize rocket design proposals. You can talk to him via his Discord, which will be in the description. I'd like to say that despite all these ideas being extremely cool and maybe even mind-blowing, none of these may actually happen. Everything I just said is a concept. I'd like to thank Morty for taking the time to answer our many questions and telling us about all these very cool and unbelievable ideas. And thank you for joining our Discord server. It means a lot. Any idea is possible if you apply yourself to it. It may seem hard, but it's not rocket science.